Hell, whatever. That's it. Get it on. Hey, shalom, Bmore. Let's get it on. We are the I.S.U.P.K. 1 West 125th Street up there in Harlem, New York. We are all under Commanding General Yahanna. We are not affiliated with other Israelite groups. Since 1969, we've been bringing out the truth that blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians are the true Jews of the Bible, and the white man is, of course, the devil. Right. Well, we're going to go in a history class tonight. I'm going to take some questions. You understand? I'm going to take some questions. The general not here right now. He couldn't make it to Baltimore tonight. So I'm going to take over the class real quick. We're going to get some questions. Anybody got some questions, type them in online, all right? And we're gonna go ahead and get down, man. A couple of people been asking me some questions about I.S.U.P. and where he came from. You know, anybody got any questions online? Yes, sir. A couple of people we want. Come. A couple of people been asking me about Esau and how he came about. How that devil came about, and what's his origins? You know what I'm saying? Where did he come out of? Did he come out of us? You know, what nation did he come out of? So we're gonna get a little bit of that. We're gonna go all the way back to we're going to go all the way. Matter of fact, we're going to go all the way back to the spirit of the white man. All the way back to Genesis, man. All the way back to Genesis, man. And we're going to find out the spirit of the white man. Give me Genesis 4:3, brother. Okay. What's his spirit about? Is this the black? Come.
Genesis chapter 4:3, sir.
Yes, sir.
Genesis chapter 4, verse 3. And in process of time, it come to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground and offered unto the Lord.
All right. Now, when it says Cain brought of the fruit of the ground, Cain brought wheat, lettuce, corn, rye, the fruit of the ground, what grew out of the ground. But this is not what the Lord wanted. The Lord wanted a meat offering, a blood sacrifice. How do we know this? Because we know that Adam had the truth. Adam had the truth and passed it down to his sons. And this is how they would know what sacrifice the Lord wanted. Cain wanted to give the Lord what he wanted to give the Lord, not what the Lord required. This ends badly, brother. You understand me? When you don't give the Lord what he requires, it ends badly. And brother, the Lord is nothing to play around with, man. That's why we over here in slavery right now. That's why we over here having nothing but tragedy in life, because we refuse to do what the hell the Lord tell us to do what he requires. Read on.
Verse 4, Genesis chapter 4, verse 4. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof.
Look, Abel brought a nice, fat youngling lamb to the Lord. What the Lord required, what the Lord asked for. Abel was doing in accordance to what the Lord wanted. Cain had the spirit of dissension and deceit. You understand? And that spirit told him, I'm going to give the Lord what the hell I want to give him. Read on.
And the Lord had respected unto Abel and to his offering.
Look, check it. The Lord had respect unto Abel because Abel did what the Lord required. The Lord is always pleased when his people do what the hell he told them to do. Just like a father would be pleased. Just like you would be pleased when your daughter gets good grades. When your son don't get in trouble in school. When your daughter or your son comes home and cleans up the house and mows the lawn. And do what is required of them. Because you require certain things to happen for them to live in your home. You understand? You require certain things of your children, and you have to, you must. Well, the Lord requires certain things of us. He was pleased unto Abel because Abel did it, and he did it well. Abel made a sacrifice of the fatling of his flock. You understand? He didn't hide that fat, unblemished, beautiful lamb. He gave it to the Lord. He offered that up to the Lord. But see, Cain, in deceit, he did what the hell he wanted to do. In his pride, in his filth.
Right.
Read on, brother.
Verse 5. But unto Cain and his offering he had not respected. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance.
The Lord did not have respect unto what Cain offered him. Because it wasn't what the Lord required. It wasn't what the Lord wanted. You understand? When we eat pork, when we smoke weed, it might be what we want. It's what we want to do.
Right.
But it's not what the Lord would have us do, want us to do, or requires us to do. So in our pride and in our sin, we do this, and then when confronted with it, we get angry and jealous. You see another brother prospering. He got this, that, and the third. And yet, you being punished, but you think what you doing is right. Look, the reason why Cain was wroth, and when it says wroth, he was angry. Next is going to say his countenance fell. He was mad. He was mad because the Lord didn't want that offering, but he already knew that was not what the Lord required or what the Lord wanted. But in his vanity and in his pride and his narcissism, he did it any goddamn way. So now I'm angry because the Lord didn't like my offering when I knew already what the Lord required. Read on.
And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell.
His countenance fell. Go ahead.
Verse 6. And the Lord said unto Cain, why art thou wroth?
What you mad for? You knew what I required of you. You knew what I required you to do. You understood what I required you to do. But in your pride, you did what the hell you wanted to do.
Right.
And what the Lord going to say next, man, is absolutely, is so true and is so outstanding, man. And And this part right here is heavy. It's heavy. Go ahead now.
And why is thy countenance fall? Verse 7. If thou doest well, shall thou not be accepted.
If thou doest well, shall thou not be accepted? Would you not get the same praise and the same accolades that Abel get? If you had done what you know you should have done? Would that not happen? Or, go ahead.
And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door.
Sin lieth at the door. You sin in your pride. You understand?
Right.
You sin in your narcissism.
Right.
You sin in that. And that opens the door for all manner of wickedness, man.
Right.
All manner of trials and tribulations and punishments that you're behind gonna have to go through, man. Instead of dropping that pride and doing what the hell is required of you by the Lord. The Lord says, sin lieth at the door. When you do it, when you pick up that weed, you pick up that pork, you understand? You go up in that whore that you know you want to throw away the next day. Worse is to come, man.
Right.
Worse is to come. Punishments are to come. All of this lieth at the door. It opens up to dissension and murder, man. When you are not following in the ways of the Lord, man, and you're not doing what the hell he requires, and that requires everything.
Right.
Not just I'm doing one thing well, so it should be all right if I eat a little pork here and there. Should be all right if I smoke on the blunt one day a week. You know, might be all right if ain't nothing wrong with me, but I'm taking a damn Percocet every now and then. Look, sin lies at the door, and we all know what sin is. Sin is death. The Lord is saying death lies at the door when you do this, man. Go ahead.
Slacky, sir. At verse 7. And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. I'm going to go back to 7 and read it again.
Just a little bit there.
No, we was at verse 7. I'll read it again. Genesis chapter 4, verse 7. If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted?
Go ahead.
And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door.
That's right. That's right.
And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him.
Unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. What is he saying here? What is the Lord is saying here? Read it again.
Verse 7. If thou doest well, thou...
Go to 8.
Go to 8. Verse 8. And Cain talked with Abel, his brother.
No, well, the end of verse 7. Just read 7 again.
Okay, slack. Genesis chapter 4, verse 7. If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted?
If thou doest well, shall thou not be accepted. If you're doing what the Lord requires of you, you'll always be accepted.
Right.
Go ahead.
And if thou doest not well,
If thou doest not well,
sin lieth at the door.
sin lieth at the door. All manner of sin, murder, sedition, all manner of sin lieth at the door when you don't take into consideration what the Lord wants, what the Lord requires. Not following and doing what the Lord wants is sin. And when sin opens up in your life, man, all manner of wickedness is now possible, man. Sin lieth at the door. The results of that sin is death. And death can come in many different ways.
Right.
Bro, look. It's my phone. Okay, go ahead.
And unto thee shall be his desire.
Unto thee shall be his desire. Go ahead.
And thou shalt rule over him.
And thou shalt rule over him, man. His brother shall rule over him. Go ahead.
And Cain talked with Abel his brother.
Cain talked with Abel his brother. He was jealous.
And
He was angry, man. He was jealous because the Lord took favoritism of his offering because he gave the Lord what he wanted. He gave the Lord what was required of him, and he went above and beyond that.
Right.
He gave him the best of his flock, the fat of his flock. The Lord was impressed with that. And instead of Cain understanding that the sin was on him, his pride, his loftiness made him blame his brother. Go ahead.
And it came to pass.
It came to pass.
When they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him.
Look, when they was in the field, Cain in his pride, in his sin, in his wickedness, and in his filth, rose up against his brother. When it says slew him, he murdered him. This is the first homicide in the Bible. This was perpetrated by the spirit of the white man. Now, what do I mean by that? There wasn't a fully formed white man on the earth yet. But this was the spirit of murder, the spirit of deceit and dissension and sin. This was in Cain. And the Lord going to do something specific to Cain. Go ahead.
Verse 9. And the Lord said unto Cain, where is Abel, thy brother? And he said,
thy brother. The Lord already knew where Abel was, man. But the Lord was asking this question of Cain. You understand? To discern his spirit. You understand? Asking Cain, where is thy brother? And what does Cain say?
And he said, I know not.
I know not.
Am I
the
my
devil,
right.
The goddamn liar, the deceiver? This is the spirit of the damn devil. I know not. And he already know he buried him and put him under the ground, man. He already know he strangled him and went upside his head, man, and slew him. He already know, like the white Lord. Like white people, they know they murdered us, man. They know they murdered us in the most heinous of goddamn ways, man. Especially down there in the South, man. Down there in them woods, man. They murdered us. They got us buried under the ground everywhere. Look, back there, hold on one second. Back there in Natchez, Mississippi, man. In Natchez, Mississippi, and I talk about this sometimes, man, because it's so goddamn heinous what white people did down there in Natchez, man. They built a fort. And in that fort, they put women and children, stacked it with women and children while they sent black men out on the chain gang, because black men wanted to be free, wanted to have some sense of freedom. The Civil War was over. And of course, the white man just can't take an L. He just can't do it. So instead of letting these black people go, what he did was built a fort and said, we're going to send you to some work camps. See, what we don't understand is that the first death camps was right here in America. Where do you think Hitler got it from? Right here in the good old US of A. You understand me? Natchez, Mississippi, and look. They left them women and them children in there, man, to starve. It wasn't a fort for you to break in. It was a fort that they couldn't get out of. And they were starving in there, man, dying. So, of course, the young and the susceptible and the old start dying first. So the women in there and their children start dying, man. And the women out there, the black women in there begging these white soldiers to take their child and bury them. But the white man is such an unconscionable bastard, man. He threw the shovel over the fort and said, bury them where they lie, man. Now they already been looking at their dead children's faces collapse. Now they got to sit there and bury them where they lie, and they already weak. They ain't nothing. They starving and they dying, man. And they did this to 50,000 black people in that fort, and that was one. That was one death camp. And I tell you this. All the bones, the skulls, of all the children and the women that was in that death camp, and this death camp specifically was called the Devil's Punch Bowl. You can look that up on your phone, man. Right. It was called the Devil's Punch Bowl because devils built it. They built it for us to suffer and die in, man. And look, every time it rains and that river overflows, the bones of all the thousands of black women and children wash up, go down river on their perfectly manicured lawns. And I'm going to tell you why that happens. It's in the Bible too. Read on.
Verse 10. And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother bleed crieth unto me from the ground.
Crieth unto me from where?
Ground.
From the ground. Look, the voice of all the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are crying out from the ground. This is why every time it rains over there in Natchez, Mississippi, and that river overflow, the bones come up and flow down river and litter their perfectly manicured lawns, man. Of them white folks, man, that murdered helpless black women and children with no empathy, man.
Right.
Because they were crying out from the ground where the white man put them. Cain is the spirit of the white man.
Right.
This is the spirit of the white man in the earth, man. And it's going to come back as a fully formed white man. Read on.
Verse 11. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth and received thy brother's blood.
Look. Cain was able to grow the fruit of the ground. Now, the Lord cursed it. That's why the white man got to grow, got to experiment and splice genes and invent all types of genetically modified different kinds of foods and stuff, because the ground will not yield to him, man. The ground won't yield. This is why Kentucky Fried Chicken is now KFC, because it ain't chicken. They grow the chicken meat in a culture. And it's not a what you would call a live chicken with a brain or it. It's just a featherless blob of meat that they run tubes in and blood through to grow the actual meat. You understand? Nothing will grow for the white man. This is why he got all types of genetically modified fruits and vegetables, because nothing will yield for him, man. The ground will not yield from him because he put so many people in it. Go ahead.
I'm going to read 11 again.
Nah, you moving.
Okay, sorry. Verse 12. Well, I'm reading half because we ain't finished that. Mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand.
You read the whole thing.
Slack it. Genesis chapter 4, verse 11. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which has opened her mouth and received thy brother's blood from thy hand. Verse 12. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength.
Her strength. Meaning, it will not yield natural fruits and vegetables grown in it by this white man. This is the reason why he has to use scientific methods, man. Look, when we were sharecroppers, the ground yield for us, we fed 3 continents. We grew cotton, tobacco, lettuce, we grew rye, wheat, corn. We grew all of that, man. And we fed 3 continents with our labor.
Right.
3 continents. The white man imports most of the foods here in America, man. Most of them are import. And the farms that he do have are all unnatural, man. There's very few actual organic farms, and they don't yield in great numbers, in strength, because the ground will not yield to this devil because of his barbarism, because of his pride. Come on now.
A fugitive and a vagabond shall thou be in the earth.
He's a fugitive and a vagabond. The white man is in everybody else's country. And the reason why he is able to be there with impunity is because he has murdered everyone there. He murdered the population down to where it was though it's manageable enough for him to enslave and work and use and destroy people, man. White man has had his foot on the necks of black people for 400 years, but he's done the same to Hispanics.
Right.
He's done the same to Native Indians, man.
Right.
He's been lying to them, giving them land deeds for the past damn 400 years. And none of them are worth the paper they written on.
Right.
Because as soon as he finds gold, oil, or wants to run any type of natural resource through that land, he then takes it and say, oh, this is not your actual land, it's federal land that was put aside for you. Like he words things in his law because he's a deceitful devil, man.
Right.
The ground won't yield for this beast. And without black people, he will starve and die. And that's what we don't understand.
Right.
We don't get that we have power because we're not willing to utilize that power because we're afraid of the consequences. But he's more afraid of the consequences than we are. We
Right.
just don't understand. Go ahead, Al.
Verse 13. And Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear.
Wow. Look, there's more than I can bear. Look, the white man can't bear nothing.
Right.
That's why in the years of the Great Recession, the white man lose a little bit of money and jump out a damn window, man.
Right.
I mean, they had to have caution signs up because over there in New York, by the stock exchange, white people was jumping out jumping off the damn building, killing themselves, man, splattering themselves on the damn sidewalk.
Yeah.
Like, don't walk under here, a white man will fall on you.
Right.
Because he's such a prideful, narcissistic bastard that cannot accept that he's poor now. We've been poor in abject poverty for generations. And we don't jump out of windows. Like the white man cannot take a loss, and he never wants to pay for the barbarism and the crimes that he does. And I guarantee you, when Christ come back, they'll do the same thing. My punishment is too hard to bear. I'll put everybody else in slavery for hundreds of years. I'll pile dope in everybody else's community and murder them and put guns in there and use all kinds of laws to discriminate against them. Redlining and property ownership and real estate. I'll tweak all of that to make for damn sure they don't even have a place to live. Right. But when it comes to me paying for that, it wasn't me, it was my ancestors. Well, yeah, I served on the juries that let the white police go for shooting black men in the back 15 times. Yeah, I did that. But I didn't enslave anybody. I didn't hurt anybody. Yeah, I didn't care about the legislation of mass incarceration. Yeah, I invested in the stock market and privatized prisons. I really didn't care that they went out and arrested black men for little stupid petty crimes so that they couldn't get a job and stayed in the street doing crime. Yeah, I didn't give a damn, but I shouldn't have to pay for that. Right. Like they are the trash and the filth of the earth, man. Right. Come on now.
Verse 14, Genesis chapter 4, verse 14. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth.
Thou hast driven me from the face of the earth, man. Driven me away from you. So I can't have an easy, good life that I want, that I require. I can't live in your house now because I didn't want to do what the hell you told me to do. But that punishment is too much for me. Like the white man is such a child, man.
Right.
Such a damn child, man. Go ahead.
And from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth.
A homeless piece of garbage in the earth, which he is. He is not the American. He is not the Australian. He's not even the European. Come on, man.
And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me.
Everybody that find me shall slay me, because the white man is weak for real. That's why every one of them have to have a gun. They have to have a gun because they are so damn afraid, man. So every one of them have to have a gun. And they don't use it to protect themselves. They are aggressive. They use it to aggressively murder. That's what they use their damn guns for, man. Their guns are for militias. So they can form militias because they're so damn afraid of slave revolts. The same fear of slave revolts that they had in the 1880s is the same fear of slave revolts they have today.
Right.
They are so afraid of black people wanting some revenge and getting some justice that they know black people deserve.
Right.
Go ahead.
And the Lord, verse 15, and the Lord said unto him, therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him.
Whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken upon him. Look, when the Arabs came over here, man, and they murdered 3,000 people knocking over that building, what happened? The white man went over in the Middle East on a crusade. He murdered tens of thousands of Arabs. You understand that? The toll that the white man takes. And look, we know that the white man has a sense of justice because whenever somebody strikes against him, he strikes back triple.
Right.
But he has no sense of justice when it's him doing the murdering and doing the crimes.
Wow.
Millions of crimes on type of crimes that he's done to blacks and Hispanics, man. But we can't even talk about that. The Arabs struck at us. The Arabs struck at us. The Arabs are supposed to be the enemy of the white man. He goes over there and he bombs and destroys Afghanistan. Okay, he bombs and it destroys Afghanistan. While the war is going on, the dope slows down.
Right.
Soon as the white man wins the war, the dope picks up.
Right.
150%. All kinds of heroin is flowing through the black community like a damn sow, killing and destroying everything.
Right.
Because the white man is the dope dealer.
Right.
He went to Afghanistan to secure the dope. And he sold it and destroyed black families, man. And incarcerated whatever remnant or residue was left. Animal. The things the white man does, man, is exactly the spirit of the first murderer.
Right.
The creator of homicide. The creator of genocide.
Right.
There is not a continent that the white man has been on that has not had a genocide soon after he arrived. He is the father of murder and sedition.
Right.
Lies and deceit. Come on.
I'm going to start 15 again. And the Lord said unto him, therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold.
Sevenfold. Sevenfold. 3,000 die. What's 7 times 3,000?
And the Lord.
Let me see. Wait a minute. 14, 21, 200 and some thousand, man. Got to die. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And the Lord set a mark upon Cain.
He set a mark upon Cain, man. Go ahead.
Lest any finding him shall kill him.
The white man is different from anyone else on earth. Why? Because his blood showeth forth through his skin. He's not white, he's red. Because his blood, the iron and the oxygenation in his blood shows forth through his illuminated, filthy skin, man.
Right.
He's the red man. He calls the native Indian the red man to hide his filthy identity, man. He's the red man, Esau in the Bible.
Right.
The Lord cursed him with a mark where that blood showed forth through that skin. Go ahead, Al.
He said that you know, the Native American the red man, but they say the Redskins, to watch the Redskins. You ever seen the helmet of the Redskins? That look like a black man to me. It don't look nothing red.
Damn right.
The helmet look red, but that black man on there don't look red to me.
Right. Damn right. The same look.
That look like a black man to me.
Look, they had that same burnished, deep copper color that we had, man.
Common color.
That's all. Because we the same damn people.
Right.
Come on.
The helmet look red, but not that man on it. The emblem, not the emblem. They don't look like a black man to me. You know what I'm saying? A brother.
Filthy devil.
Right.
Damn devil. Deceiver.
Right.
We gotta hurry up. We gotta move on.
Come.
Let's go ahead and skip up to Esau.
Esau. Okay, that's
I get you the scripture.
Let's
go. We're gonna go ahead to Esau so we can finish off the history of this white man, man. Disgusting devil. Hold on, I'm just going to lay that right there because we back on time. Let's go to Genesis 25 and 22, man. Start off at 22.
Genesis chapter 25, verse 22.
It's 8:30 already, so we gotta fly through this.
Come.
And, yeah.
Verse 22.
Ask them if anybody got any questions out there.
If anybody got any questions, type it in. You know what I mean? So we can answer it. You know what I'm saying? Promptly. You know what I'm saying? Genesis chapter 25, verse 22. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus?
Look, Rebecca was pregnant, man, at an age where she didn't think she would be pregnant. So this was a blessing, man. So, but right now the children are struggling together within her, man, fighting within her. So she's saying, man, why is this so painful? What is going on here, man? If this be a blessing, why am I feeling this way? Why am I thus, as you would say? Because, of course, this is slang. This is how we talk, man. This is slang. This is a black woman trying to express the pain that she's going through, the pain that's supposed to be a blessing.
Right.
She's feeling in distress because she's pregnant and it's pulling, tugging, going on in her belly. She in pain. So she's trying to find out what's going on here. Is this really a blessing? Go ahead.
I'm going to go to 22 again.
Mhm.
And the children struggled, Genesis chapter 25, verse 22. And the children struggled together within her and said, if it be so, why is I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord.
Keep reading.
Verse 23. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb.
2 what?
2 nations are in thy womb.
So we got right now 2 nations that are inside her belly right now. We know they twins, but they are going to be 2 nations. What are nations? Nations are, a nation is a group of people with specific racial characteristics, specific cultural characteristics. You understand? That are grouped together.
Right.
That's a nation that has formed a society. You understand? Go ahead.
And 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
2 different manner of people. This is how we know this is 2 different races of people.
Come.
This is a description of racial division, man.
Right.
All right? The Lord has never said that before.
Right.
You got something?
No, I just want to say that a lot of Christians don't understand this is the Lord speaking. He's separating, he's showing you his power to show you that even though that's a woman, he's showing you he can separate nations in a woman's stomach and make a different people from a different people biblically back thousands of years. That's what the Lord can do. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of Christians can't
fathom that.
Fathom that. Right. It rumbles like, you know what I mean? Because they used to being homosexuals and whatever they doing in the church, and they think, you know what I mean, since they got Edomites.
Spooky stuff.
Right.
Anything that's spooky. You know they don't understand that this is real science. This is absolute, real genetic science. The Lord is saying, I got 2 different races in your womb.
Right.
And these 2 different races that are going to come out of you are going to be 2 nations.
Right.
2 completely different people.
Right.
Separated by thy bowels.
Right.
The Lord is powerful, man. And the Lord does not lie. Look, this is 2 different races of people, man. 2 races that hate each other. They're fighting in the womb, man. These races are genetically predisposed to be enemies. One is wicked, evil, perverse, and the other is the exact opposite. You know the precept to that? The potter. The potter. Wait a minute. I'm going to get the precept for you.
I got it in my book.
Hold up. I'm going to get the precept for that. I forgot exactly what it was, but it says certain to the effect of the potter. And the potter to choose. I'll get that later. I'll find that later. Wait a minute. gotta get that precept. Give me Romans 9:21. Romans 9:21, but keep your place where you was at.
You said Romans
9:21. Sometimes we gotta get them precepts, man. The precepts are very important in how we read the Bible, man.
Romans chapter 9, verse 21.
Because here it's up to the Lord how he wants his creations to be, man. It ain't up to you, man. It ain't up to you to decide if white people is good or if white people are bad.
Right.
It's what God chose them and made them to be.
Right.
Go ahead, man.
Romans chapter 9, verse 21. Have not the potter power over the clay.
Have not the power over the clay. Who is the potter? The potter is the cat that forms and molds the clay. The Lord is the one that creates. The Lord said, I would have two different races in this woman's bowels, in her stomach. I'm going to separate them by her bowels, make them two different nations and two different manner of people, completely different. You got one salty and flavorful. You got one bland and disgusting.
Right.
You got one wicked and evil. You got one with the potential to be good, the potential to be kings.
Right.
You got one that's wicked, barbarism, rape inside of them, sin at the core. And you got one with good at the core that needs to be brought out, needs to be cultivated.
Right.
Read that over again, man.
Chapter 9, verse 21. Have not the potter power over the clay of the same lump?
Of the same lump. So you got Jacob and Esau in the same mother, of the same flesh, the same exact flesh. Go.
To make one vessel?
To make one vessel. One vessel. So you got the mother, you got one flesh. You got her egg being cultivated, being impregnated. You got this one flesh. Go.
Unto honor.
You got one unto honor. Go.
And another unto dishonor.
You have that same flesh, that one flesh, one unto honor, and you split the other unto dishonor. Go.
What if God willing to slew his wrath and to make his power known?
To make his power known. Look, you got one people, one nation of honor. You got one people, one nation of dishonor. The Lord is going to show his power in one nation. He's going to show his power, man. There is a nation of kings and priests that the Lord is going to show his power in. There is another nation that is brutal, unempathetic, and murderous, and sinful. They will sleep with animals. They will have sex with dead bodies. They are empty inside. Absolutely empty, man. But this is up to the Lord to make a vessel of honor and one of dishonor.
Right.
I think we got that. Any questions? Just hit me up, man. Hurry up, because we got to go. We got to go. If you got a question, you better hit me up now. Move. Let's get back to Genesis, man.
Genesis 20.
Yeah, we got to hurry up. Genesis 25, I think we was at like
23.
We was at 23.
Count. 25.
All right, go ahead.
Shit. Genesis chapter 25, verse 23.
We got to move. We at 840. Let's go.
And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb.
2 nations. Remember, the Lord is the potter. 2 nations in thy womb. Go.
2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
2 different races are going to be separated by thy bowels. The Lord is the potter. He makes the clay. He makes the decision. It is not up to you to save the white man, Negro. It's not up to you to say who is righteous, who is not righteous, who is wicked, and who is not.
Right.
Go.
And the one people shall be stronger than the other people.
Look. One people shall be stronger than the other. We know that to be the case.
Right.
The black man excels at every sport.
Right.
He destroys white athleticism on every level. That cannot be disputed. Do not send me a text, an email with no bull crap about what white people can do or what white people have done to black people's athleticism, because it's a lie. We all know what it is.
Right.
Go.
And the one people shall be stronger than the other.
Go.
And the elder shall serve the younger. Verse 24.
The elder shall serve the younger. The elder who's ever born first is going to serve the one that is born second. So let's see who's born first. Go.
Verse 24. And when her days be delivered.
When Rebekah's time was come to give birth to the twins, go.
Were fulfilled, behold.
They were fulfilled. She's ready to give birth. Go.
There were 2 twins.
There were twins in her womb, one and another. Who was born first? Let's go.
In her womb. And the first came out red.
Came out what?
Red.
What?
Red.
What?
Red. Red.
The first came out red. Like what?
All over like a hairy garment.
All over like a hairy garment. His blood showed forth through his skin. This is the first documented birth of a disgusting, filthy devil on the earth. The wicked, the disgusting, the murderous, the progenitor of the homicide.
Right.
This is his birth.
Right.
He's born first. The elder. What was the verse before that? The younger shall be stronger than the elder.
Right.
So the white man is born first. He's weak. He's weak in mind. He's weak in mentality. He's weak emotionally. He's weak physically. Go.
And they called him Esau.
They call him Esau, the progenitor of the white race. Go.
And after that came his brother out.
After that came his brother out. So after the red man, who's red all over like a hairy garment, came out, his brother then came out, which they do not describe, because Jacob looked like every goddamn body else, man. He looked like everybody else. He wasn't different. He wasn't red. His blood didn't show through his skin. The white man is unlike any other man on the earth.
Right.
Go ahead.
And he took, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel. And his name.
Very important. His hand took hold of the heel of Esau. That's important. That's going to come out later. Go.
And his name was called Jacob.
His name was called Jacob. Jake was the progenitor of the 12 tribes of Israel. the progenitor of the nigger,
Right.
the wetback,
Right.
the redskin,
Right.
the meek, the nothing,
Right.
poverty. Go.
And his name was called Jacob. And Isaac.
Jacob. Go ahead.
And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare him.
That Negro was old. Go ahead.
And the boys grew. And Esau was a cunning hunter.
Esau was a cunning hunter, man. Esau's in Africa right now killing elephant babies. He's there killing lions. It's not that he eats them. He just likes to murder. His heart, his spirit, his soul likes when life ends. He is the opposite of Christ, the opposite of God. He likes to have death mounted on his mantle. He likes to have dead animals on his mantle, in his home, because his spirit likes death. Everybody believes that the white man is the light. He invented this and that. He did this, he did not do a goddamn thing. He is just the best murderer and liar on the earth.
Right.
Go.
Esau was a cunning hunter.
Hunter, man.
A man of the field.
He murders. He's a man of the field. He stays out in the field. He kills.
Right.
Go.
And Jacob was a plain man.
A plain man. Where do we like to be? We like to chill. We don't like to turn it up a lot of times. We like to have a comfortable dwelling place, not up in the mountains, not outside camping, up there where wild animals can get you, not bungee jumping out of goddamn planes. Go, man. They get the picture. Y'all get the picture, right? You got a question. You better send in your question, man.
Come.
Go.
And Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents. Verse 28. And Isaac loved Esau.
Isaac loved Esau, man. Go ahead.
Because he did eat of the venison.
Mm-hmm.
But Rebekah loved Jacob.
So you got the father who loved Esau because he drank of his venison, he drank of his food that he went out and killed, such and such and such. But Rebekah, she loved Jacob. Why did she love Jacob? Because Rebekah went out and got counsel on which one of her sons will be the chosen of God. And Rebekah knew that Jacob was that son. She knew that there was something wrong with Esau. That Esau had no empathy. He would kill a deer, cut his heart out, and eat the heart raw. She knew it was something wrong here, man. That this was not a Negro. This was not somebody who understood that life was precious. She knew that.
Verse 29. And Jacob sought porridge.
He sought pottage.
He sought pottage. And Esau came from the field and was faint.
He was faint. Esau ain't get that catch today. The Lord made sure that he ain't get that catch. Because all of this is ordained by the Most High. Go.
And verse 30. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with the same red porridge.
He said, feed me that same red porridge. I'm hungry. I'm dying. I'm faint. Feed me. You know what? Jake had empathy. Jake had love. He'd have fed him any goddamn way. He'd have fed him any damn way. But see, Esau, being the white man and the disgusting bastard that he is, he felt as though The only way I can get it, I got to buy it. But that's not how the white men work. Jake would have probably gave it to him. But Esau did what? Go.
For I am faint, therefore was the name called Edom. I start over at 30. And Esau, Genesis chapter 5, verse 30. And Esau said unto Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with the same red porridge, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. Verse 31. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright.
Stop. Jacob said, what?
Sell me this day thy birthright. Come. Verse 31. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright.
Sell me thy birthright. So you're going to tell a brother, sell me. Jake says, sell me your birthright. Sell me your birthright. And I'll give you some of this meal.
Right.
Jake would have gave it to him any goddamn way.
Mm-hmm.
But the devil being the devil and has no mercy on anybody else, he could not understand mercy. So he said, if I don't sell him my birthright, I may die. Go.
Verse 32. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die. And what profit shall this birthright do to me?
Look, Esau is saying, I'm about to die. It ain't going to do me no good to have this birthright because he does not understand mercy. He does not understand the laws of God. So he's saying, look, I'll go ahead and sell you my birthright, which is weak because the white man is weak, for food. Go.
Verse 33. And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And I swore unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob.
Look, he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Fair and square. Look, Jacob ain't steal nothing. The Most High ordained that Jacob would be in the promises, man. That Jacob would be the progenitor of the 12 tribes of Israel. Jacob stole nothing. Jacob did what the Lord told him to do. Let's get the rest of that quickly. About done.
Verse 34. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils and lentils, and he did eat and drink.
So Jake got his blessing. Look, so we're gonna get the last part of this, man, to prove that Esau is the goddamn white man. Skip down to 40. Skip down to verse 40. 27 verse 40.
Genesis
27 verse 40.
Genesis 27. Genesis chapter 27 verse 40. And by thy sword shalt thou live.
Look. After Isaac gave the blessing to Jacob, Esau came into the room. This is after Jacob had got all the blessings from their father Isaac. And Esau cried because, of course, a white man cannot take an L. Esau cried and begged his father for a blessing. This is the blessing that Isaac gave to Esau. Read again.
Genesis chapter 27, verse 40.
Go.
And by thy sword shall thou live.
The white man lives by his sword. He goes to every continent, murdering and genociding, cutting off the limbs, keeping people hostage of everybody on every continent because he is the devil. And this is the blessing that he got, which was the sword. This is why he creates all kinds of guns today, centrifuge weapons, and things to murder and kill people quickly because he's a coward.
Right.
Go. Come on, we got to move.
And thou shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck.
Oh, okay. Look, this is the dark ages when Esau broke the yoke of Jacob off of his neck. That's the Renaissance. All right. During the dark ages, we had rule for 1,000 years. But on the Renaissance, he broke that yoke and he was able to paint all of the paintings that we have of all the icons and all the saints and of Christ, to say that Christ was white or the saints was white. He was able to mix and match and change history to benefit himself. That's the liar and the deceiver. And this is the blessings that he got. Go.
And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessings wherewith his father blessed him.
Look, Esau hated Jacob. And of course, just like Cain and Abel, because of course, Cain is the spirit of the white man. He wanted to murder Abel. And of course, Esau wanted to murder Jacob. Go.
And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob.
Then will I slay my brother Jacob. The white man is the progenitor of the homicide. He loves murder. He loves genocide. He is the death of mankind.
Right.
Go.
Verse 42. And these words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah, and said, sent and called Jacob her younger son.
Look, Rebekah, of course, saved Jacob's life by telling him that this filthy, disgusting white man was going to creep up on you and murder you because he is a depraved, narcissistic bastard. We have to understand one thing, that we have an enemy. That enemy was a nation that was split from us in the womb.
Right.
The Bible does not lie. It does not contradict itself.
Right.
We must consider these things. And black man, look, if we consider what has happened to us for the past 400 years, who has deprived us of humanity?
Right.
Who have deprived us of freedom?
Right.
And absolutely deprived us of what we needed to be a man.
Right.
We can't even be a man to our woman because the white man has given our women power over us, man.
Right.
We don't even have the power to say if our babies should live or not, man. I.S.U.P.K. Baltimore, the white man is the devil. And with that, I'm going to turn the class over to priest and strong, powerful officer, not dissolved.
This is the security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K. coming out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander GEN.YAHANNA. New rules for the brothers and sisters. When a new brother and sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are to be shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permissions from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brothers and sisters will court each other. After the 6 month period, the brother or sisters will get permissions from the head to marry, tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18 and 21. And Malachi verse 3, 8 through 10 means tenth in Hebrew and pronounced ma'ashra. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord give to the Treasury Department or teacher, priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy events, we got the Feast of First Fruits coming up very shortly. It's after 50 days after unleavened bread. Contact your the leaders of your school for further notice. We got these cookouts coming up. The first one we got is South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? Check details from your head of your camp for further details. Remind every Akim and Akwa to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K. events and material. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, he is to start wearing all black, such as includes black boots, shirts, pants, headbands, or scarves. And with that, we're going to give one courteous salute to the teacher, men of Israel. Amay Shabbat, Amay Barak, Yahba Shema Shah Barak Dam,
Yahba Shema Shah Dam,
Yaminta, dismissed.